What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. It's episode number 49 and it's also the season finale as we wrap up our fourth season of the save and our first season at the Emirates Stadium as well, where in the last episode I said, what would you give this season out of 10 if you're rating it fairly? I said 5 or 6, and it might sound quite low, but I've had this conversation recently, right? When you're rating something between 1 and 10, people seem to default to 7 for some strange reason. No, 5 doesn't sound good, but it's actually bang average. 5 is as average as it can get. So, when someone's rating something out of 10, like what do you think of a movie, and they say 5 out of 10, your brain kind of thinks, well, you must not have enjoyed it then, it was really bad. But actually, no, 5 is average. 5 is alright. If 5 is alright, that's what we need to keep saying, man. 5 is alright. So, I'd say this season, our first year at the Emirates, 5 or 6 out of 10. I think the only reason I give it 6 and make it slightly above average is because I've been really pleased with how the new signings have got on. We spent over £300 million on rebuilding and transitioning this Arsenal side, bringing back a former academy graduate. Smith Rowe, one of our players of the season, sure to win the assist title. Josh De Silva's been amazing. Reece Nelson, do I say any more? The guy's fantastic. Also, Bukayo Saka coming back on transfer deadline day. Godfrey's done well since coming in. Then we've got Ramsdale and Mitchell on the bench as well. I like what we've been doing with this Arsenal team in terms of transfers this season. That's what probably bumps it up to a 6. But that's not bad. Again, 5 is alright, so 6 is relatively decent. Because we know that coming into the penultimate game of the season and our final one at the Emirates this year, we have basically guaranteed Champions League football with 2 games to spare. Now again, if you want to get technical and play devil's advocate, officially we haven't mathematically done it, but we know it's basically done. So taking on Southampton for the penultimate game of our first year at the Emirates Stadium and our final home game of the campaign, facing Ralph Hasenhüttl's side, as we knew, Champions League football basically in the bag at one point would give us the mathematic confirmation. And early on into the game, Luis Suarez, our Colombian striker, who's been brilliant this year, gives us his 18th goal of the year and our first of the game. So 1-0 to the Gunners, very early advantage. Obafemi almost put the Saints back on level terms, but just a few minutes after his miss went off target. 28 minutes into the game, Reece Nelson down left-hand side, drags out Kappa, takes his time, rolls it through to Smith Rowe. And did you see the little ghosting run there from Reece Nelson? Stops, holds, then goes back in behind his man, finds the pocket of space, and as he's found by Smith Rowe, he drills it in for our second of the game. So it's 19th of the year for Reece Nelson, second of the game for us. 2-0 Arsenal, and at half-time I was thinking, yep, it's basically done now. So in the second half, 18 minutes after the restart, a chance to make it 3, and that'll completely confirm it. Reece Nelson, he is just so quick. When he gets in behind the back line, no one's catching up. He had enough time to pull a newspaper out of his back pocket and start reading the funnies, but instead drills it in for our third goal of the game. 3-0 Arsenal in our final game in North London this season, and confirmation there, goal number 20 for Reece Nelson. First time he scored 20 in a Premier League campaign. There it is. Nelson gets it with 25 minutes to go. Final score, Arsenal 3, Southampton 0. And now I can finally say it. Mathematically, Champions League football is confirmed. I always say it, if there's a mathematic chance, I won't call it a guarantee, because you just never know what can happen in football, but we knew it was over. So look at the league table heading to the final day. As you can see, Man City have won the title once again. The top 4 is set. Europa League, 3 teams could finish in that 6th and 7th places on the final day, and Watford and West Brom were still battling for survival on the final day. The only thing that really mattered to us, as we were locked in 4th, heading into our final game against Aston Villa at Villa Park, was whether Reece Nelson could win the Golden Boot. Yes, neck and neck, tied with Raheem Sterling, both having 20 goals coming to the final day. So my mission on match day 38 wasn't win, but let's get Reece Nelson the Golden Boot. I really wanted to do it and see for the first time in this series one of my players win the Golden Boot. Hence the game, Reece Nelson was the guy to watch, and early on into the game I sent him through one-on-one and just drilled it into the top corner after Kieran Tierney played him through, and of course had to run to me on the sidelines to celebrate. We've made him into the world star he is, and he won't forget the man that's behind it. Reece Nelson gets us a goal up in the first half and gives us the early lead, and again there was nothing to play for on the final day. We'd already guaranteed 4th place, so couldn't finish higher, couldn't finish lower. But maybe sometimes those things can mean complacency can creep into your game. Don't ask me what I was trying to do here, because I genuinely don't know. Ball played through. Ben Godfrey has plenty of time, but instead just seems to miss-kick the ball. Leno comes out to meet Ollie Watkins, but doesn't get the rub of the green, and Watkins fires it in for Aston Villa's level. The final score, Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 1, didn't really mean anything, of course. The only question was, did Reece Nelson win the Golden Boot? Well, let's take one final look at the Premier League table. As you can see, again, Man City already crowned champions. We know that. We just can't stop these guys, man. No one can stop these guys. Top scorers as well with 80 for this season. In the end, the Europa League teams were Chelsea, West Ham, and Aston Villa, as Spurs missed out on European football for next season. Burnley, by the way, what a disappointing season for them. Just 9 wins in 38. Come on, guys, you're better than that. And in the end, West Brom did indeed survive on the final day as Watford, Leeds and Norwich head into the Championship. Reece Nelson did win the Golden Boot, though. Get in, Raheem fired a blank on the final day. So Reece Nelson is the Golden Boot winner. Suarez, by the way, in the top 5 with 18 and 35. What a season for our Colombian striker. The main reason why Kasper Dolberg is sat on the bench. Smith Rowe won the assist title. It basically won it by Christmas, though. And the top 4 players for assists this season, all Arsenal players: Smith Rowe, Suarez, Josh Da Silva, and also Reece Nelson as well. Things you love to see. And as for the Golden Glove as well, Edison won it, but look at Leno's clean sheets to game ratio, 18 in 25. And I'll be honest here, I think if we started him at the very start of the season and didn't opt to play Castells instead, who of course we sold to PSG in January, I think he would have won it. I think he would have won it, but either way, one of those things I guess we'll never know. But anyway, for the team of the season, as you can see, 6 representatives: Kieran Tierney, Emile Smith Rowe, Josh Da Silva, Reece Nelson, and Luis Suarez. Docs, that's 5, not 6. Everyone can see why you failed maths. 5 representatives in the team of the season, though. You'd love to see that. Reece Nelson, again, Golden Boot winner. So for the first time in the Serie A player that wins the Golden Boot in the Premier League. Edison won the Golden Glove and the goalkeeper of the tournament. And also Reece Nelson, player of the tournament as well. This guy, honestly, man, you know, it's been hard for me to find a youth player with star power in this save. But this is a young player with star power. Reece Nelson, incredible. As for Manchester City, by the way, they're not just the best team in England in the Premier League, they do it in domestic cups as well. They not only won the Carabao Cup this year, beating the Red Devils in the Manchester Derby final, but they also won the FA Cup as well. They beat Everton, who of course knocked us out in the 4th round. They beat the Toffees in the final to win a domestic treble, not for the first time in Guardiola's career, a domestic treble for them this season. And I know some of you guys have been asking me as well, what happened with Burnley in the Europa League this year about our help? Well, as you can see, knocked out in a round of 32 by the Belgian side, Club Brugge. So did well to get through the group as runners-up and knocked out in a round of 32 by the Belgians. And as for the winners, it was indeed Paris Saint-Germain. Beat Manchester United in the final by a 0-0 as they win the Europa League. And as for the Champions League, Real Madrid beat Barcelona in an El Clasico final by 2-1. They beat Juventus on penalties in the semis, and Barcelona beat Spurs on aggregate 4-1 in their semi-final on their way to winning the Champions League, as KDB was stood next to him. Well, that was really interesting indeed. Now at Real Madrid. So when you look at our team then, this is the team we leave with at the end of season 1. And again, you know, I have to say I'm pretty pleased with the signings. We spent so much money and we didn't get that many players. Like, our squad depth is incredibly thin. But as I mentioned before, because we weren't playing Europa League football or any European football whatsoever this season, we didn't really need a fixed squad. We had plenty of rest time between the games domestically. Don't forget, we were knocked out of the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup early as well. So, you know, there were times where we were waiting like 2 weeks between games. So we didn't really need a fixed squad. We didn't have the sort of injury crisis we had last year with Burnley due to much more rest and recovery time. I like what we did with the squad here. You know, again, bringing back those academy stars, Saka, Nelson, Smith Rowe, Josh Da Silva as well. You know, bringing the likes of Ben Godfrey, Aaron Ramsdale, Tyreek Mitchell to develop that British and Irish core that the board wanted. And again, the individual performers this year, particularly from the new signings as well. Josh Da Silva was great. Ben Godfrey grew by 2 ratings. Smith Rowe, as we know, was probably my player of the season. 19 assists and 13 goals in 40 games as well. Saka came in on transfer deadline day in January. Club record signing, £118 million, worth every penny. And for Reece Nelson as well, so for the star of the team, up to 88 overall. Now, I don't know how much better he can get at 24 years old, but if he continues to be in red-hot form like he was this year, winning the Golden Boot, 22 goals and 10 assists in 41, the future is still very bright even at just 24. And yeah, Suarez this season as well, a great season from our Colombian striker, and proof we don't need a new man up top with the Colombian banging him in. So yeah, for this season, it's done. We've done what we needed to do. That was qualify for the Champions League. That was our main objective. Yes, the FA Cup was a massive disappointment, but It's our first season in the Emirates. There's a long way to go. We've got Champions League football back in North London next season. That's the most important thing. And season 2 with loads of money in the budget should be very exciting indeed. So that will end today's episode of the Realistic CM, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And I'll see you for the start of a brand new season with CL football back at the Emirates Stadium in our special episode number 50. It's going to be great. Don't miss it. Have a great day. And I'll see you for the special episode number 50 very soon.